Hi, my name is Robert Miatta. I'd like to tell you a brief story about my Italian-American heritage. It begins with my great-grandparents, Giacomo and Giuseppe Miatta. They decided to emigrate to the United States in 1901 with their 3 children. Giacomo was 41 years old at the time and Giuseppe was 37 years old. They lived in Corleone, Sicily, and at the time they were simple farmers and tradesmen. Life, as I understand, as I heard, was very difficult back then for local peasants and farmers because politics were very difficult and the economy was extremely poor. So they sold everything they have and emigrated to the United States on the steamship Liguori. It arrived in the port of New York in 1901, and they came with their 3 children. Giuseppe, also known as Joseph, and Eugenio, 7, and Maria, 3. Giuseppe was my grandfather. He was 13 years old at the time. And he and my great-grandfather, through the immigration process, were listed as barbers. I found that interesting because a young child of 13 having a profession as a barber. But when you think about it, back then, it wasn't unusual for children to stay and work with the family and help earn an income to support the family. So they finally settled in Brooklyn, and they opened a barber shop, and my grandfather and great-grandfather worked together as barbers. My grandfather, in 1908, married my grandmother, Grace. He was 19 at the time, and Grace was 16. They settled and lived on Trotman Street in Brooklyn and had 6 children. One of them was my father, Giacomo, who was named after my great-grandfather. My father was born in 1909. And then in 1930, they bought a house and lived in Regal Park, Queens. My grandfather worked with my father and my great-grandfather for a while as barbers. My father also became a tailor and held 2 jobs at the time. My dad met and married my mom in 1935. My mother's name was Madeline Donnelly, and she also worked to help support the family, and my father worked as a barber and as a tailor. They had and raised 2 sons, my older brother and I. I now live in Limbrook, where I married my beautiful wife, Alice. We also have 2 handsome, wonderful sons. My youngest son, William, is in Binghamton State University in the Business College in his 2nd year. My son, Michael, is in the 2nd year law student at Hofstra Law School. In 1990, my wife, Alice, and I founded the firm Consolidated Risk Management. It's a national consulting, safety, health, and regulatory compliance firm, which helps industries to comply with federal and state regulations. We still operate that firm, and we're very proud, and both together, my wife and I, work to support our family and our children, and we'll continue to work. And I look back and I think, here we are now 4 generations later after my great-grandparents emigrated to America. And thanks to them and their brave immigration process, here we are today. Thank you.
Se vedrò le luci di New York, da lontano ogni volta sentirò che sarà di nuovo casa mia, un cuore che batte forte, vola via.